What is going on, you guys? Steven from Airsoft Tech. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new video. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. But today I'm bringing you guys the review and shooting test of this beautiful beast I have in my hands right here, which is the Classic Army Nemesis HEX. Now if you guys are interested in purchasing this, I will leave a link in the description to foxairsoft.com where you can go ahead and purchase this for around $420. And also I just want to give him big thanks because Fox is always sending guns out for me to do videos on. So seriously, Fox, thank you. I really appreciate it. Also, if you have not entered their ASG M60 giveaway, I will go ahead and leave a link in. As soon as I start, always a plane, baby. As I was saying, if you guys have not entered their ASG M60 giveaway on their website, I will have a link in the description for that as well. Also, I'll have timestamps in the description of everything that goes on in this video, so if you're looking for something in particular, just go ahead and look down there. Just like all my other reviews and shooting test videos, we're going to start off with going over the externals. I'll give you guys a nice close-up. We'll talk about all the features, and then we'll talk about the internals, and then we'll move on to the actual shooting test, which is the chrono, accuracy, damage test, all that good stuff. Alright, anyways though, let's go ahead and jump into this review. I kind of turned the ISO up on my camera so it's a little bit brighter so you guys can see the details and whatever. But anyways, we're going to cover the externals first. We're going to start from the front of the gun, work our way to the back, and then, you know, I already said what we're going to do. Anyways though, so starting at the front of the gun here, we do have our plastic orange flash hider. You can go ahead and remove this. You can go ahead and put a suppressor, another flash hider. It's totally up to you. Right behind that though, we do have the full metal outer barrel, and then we get into the beautiful rail system here. Oh my god, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. There are just so many things going on with this rail system. It just looks absolutely beautiful. But with that being said, you do have plenty rail space to go ahead and mount anything you want. You have rail spaces on both left and right on the bottom, and then you have a huge rail segment running the complete length of the gun. But towards the front of the gun here, we do have our front flip up iron sight, which is, yes, metal. So the cool thing is that these actually lock into place, same with the front as well as the rear. But when they're up, they lock into place, and if you want to push them down, you have to push this button. They're basically the same iron sights that were on the Classic Army EC2 and the Delta 12. So obviously both of them are flip up, you know, you can lock them in place. Both of them are adjustable. This has two different apertures. You can adjust it to the left or to the right, and then this one you can adjust the middle post, if you guys can see that right there, just basically up and down. So they're completely adjustable, and I do like how they're flip up. Anyways though, getting back towards the front of the gun here, just want to give you guys one more look at this rail system. Beautiful job, Classic Army. And then you have QD sling points right here on the left and right side, so yes, so you can go ahead and put them wherever you want. Now getting towards the middle of the gun, we have both the upper and lower receiver. Obviously they are metal. Everything on this gun, you guys, is metal besides the magazine, the motor grip, the flash hider right here, and I believe that's it. I believe literally everything else is metal. But yeah, so both upper and lower receivers are metal. We do have our dust cover right here, and on the inside it actually has an American flag and then 223 by 556. Anyways though, talking about the mag release, this gun actually is completely ambidextrous. So basically it is ambidextrous when it comes to the mag release. So you can go ahead and push this one just like so, then you could push the other one on the opposite side just like so. The fire selector switch is ambidextrous, as you can see. So you have safe, semi, and full auto. Just want to give you guys a close-up of the actual details that they went ahead and engraved on the lower receiver here. So you see that little bullet with an X in it, that is safe. Then you have a bullet, that is semi, and then you have 3 bullets right there, which means it is full auto. Now the last feature that's ambidextrous is the bolt release right here. So the bolt release is right here, as well as the standard one like on an M4. However, it's not like a standard bolt catch where you just pull the charging handle back and the bolt locks back. It doesn't do that. You have to go ahead, pull the charging handle back, push down on this one right here, and then the bolt locks back, and then you can go ahead and push the charging handle forward. So you can either go ahead and push this one right here. If you see, now it is raised. That's how you obviously know it's locked back. So you can go ahead and push that one, or you can go ahead and push this one forward. Either one will do the job. But for the video, let's just go ahead and push this one. Boom, just like so. But yeah, so the mag release, bolt release, and the fire selector switch are all ambidextrous. Right below the fire selector switch though, we do have the trigger and the trigger guard. And one nice feature is that the trigger guard is actually angled down, if you guys can see that right there. And yes, obviously both of them are full metal. And then right behind that though, we do have this amazing motor grip. If you guys can see that texture right there, it's not some standard, and this goes back here or whatever as well. It's not some standard M4 motor grip. You know, there's cheap plasticky ones that just don't feel good. This conforms to my hand so nicely, and it's so smooth. It's not like that rough type of cheap plastic that are on most, you know, out of the box M4. So this is a very nice feature. And one cool thing with this motor grip is that Classic Army actually integrated, or, you know, basically created something new. So if you want to pop the plate off of here, the motor plate, to go ahead and, you know, get to the motor if you want to swap it out or something, and yes, that is the motor height adjustment screw. However though, usually there will be 2 screws here that you have to unscrew to go ahead and pop this plate off. Nope, all you have to do is see that little button right there, slide that forward, and boom, this whole thing kind of just hinges upward, and you won't lose anything. And then all you have to do to go ahead and push it back down is go ahead, push it, pull the slide forward again, push it down, let go, locks into place, you're good to go. Super simple, so easy. You don't have to get a screwdriver or you put screws anywhere in case you lose them or anything like that. Everything, it's just so much simpler. Now, if you guys are wondering if the spring assist or forward assist, I actually don't know. I forgot what it's called. It's one of those. You guys roasted me in the comments on one of them, on one of the videos where I called it something and it was called something else. So it's the spring or forward assist. It does nothing, okay? It's for cosmetics reasons. It just, you know, pushes in, but it doesn't do anything. Right above that, we do have the rear iron sight. I know already kind of talked about them, but I did not show you guys the actual apertures. If you guys can see that right there. So you have a large one right there, and you can go ahead and flip it, as you can see, and then you have a smaller one, and then this little dial right here, if you guys can see that, moves it left or right, which I kind of talked about previously. One thing to note though, if you do have it on this little aperture and you try and go ahead and fold it down, it kind of sticks up like that because the other aperture is kind of hanging out right there if you see that. However, it does not do that if you have the big aperture up. You go ahead, fold it down, and then it's flush against the body of the gun. Just one thing that I wanted to point out. Getting back to the end of the gun here, we do have one thing that kind of contributes to this gun having a front heavy type of feel, and that is because it doesn't have some big full metal buffer tube with like a big stock or anything like it. It does though have this nice little retractable stock that I think looks really nice, and if you extend it all the way out, it's actually a fairly long gun. This obviously is not meant for CQB, however, there is one feature that this gun has that can make it CQB. I'm pretty sure you guys all know what that is, but I will touch upon that when we go over the internals. But yeah, when it's completely extended out, it's a fairly long gun. It's not a small gun. However, if it's all the way in like this, look at my arm, you guys. My wrist is literally bending so hard to try and get this all the way to my shoulder for me to look down my sights. So it is pretty uncomfortable for me to have the stock all the way in. I think it's actually perfect when it's just in the middle position. When it's all the way out, it's fine, just a little bit longer, but I think this middle position is perfect. But again, that's just my personal preference. Whatever works for you, do what you got to do. Now you guys are probably wondering though, Steven, where does the battery go? Well, why don't we go ahead and show that for you guys right now. So all you have to do is unscrew this little plate right here and then just keep unscrewing it. You can actually put that in the end of the stock here, which is pretty funny. And then it actually goes and reveals your Dean's connectors right here. So no, this does not come with the adapter that the EC2 came with and that the Delta 12 came with, because those guns were wired to Dean's as well, but they came with the Dean's to Tamiya adapter. This doesn't. It just comes with Dean's. So you're going to have to get a Dean's battery, or you can have the Tamiya battery, you know, an 11-1 Tamiya battery, but you have to get that adapter. And this was kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about internally, was that this gun does come wired to Dean's right out of the box, and it also has low resistance silver wiring, which is also really good. But yeah, one thing to note though, this battery compartment space is literally almost non-existent. So you're gonna have to get a little brick 11-1 LiPo, because this is LiPo ready. You have to get a little 11-1, you know, brick LiPo, or maybe even a 7.4 if you want to run a 7.4. I'd highly recommend trying to get an 11-1 in here though. But yeah, the battery space very limited. That's probably really the only con I have with this gun, besides the fact that it's front heavy. But then again, I really don't care that it's front heavy, because when you have the gun shouldered, it doesn't matter. It's just when you're holding it like this and the gun is kind of hurting your wrist. But who does that? When you're playing an airsoft game, you always have it shouldered regardless. All right, so I pretty much showed you guys everything that is on this side of the gun. I guess what I could do is show you this side, even though there's really nothing different besides the trademarks. So if you take a look in there, if my camera focuses, and there's a freaking helicopter. See, I have to edit all this out normally. Look how loud that is. But now, as I was saying, if my camera focuses, it says Classic Army right there. And then on this side, it says Hong Kong, or Made in Hong Kong. Yeah, that's what it says. But if we take a look at the magwell, look at that freaking Nemesis logo right there. It's a Grim Reaper. That's awesome. And then it says Nemesis right below it. And then it says the SER for like serial number, and then it has some numbers right there. And that is actually engraved into the metal. So that is pretty nice. I'm trying to get it so the light reflects off of it, but I'm pretty sure you guys can see that. Freaking, that's a sick ass logo. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the trademarks, because I already showed you guys the fire selector switch or whatever, where it says like safe, semi, full auto, it has the bullets or whatever. But yeah, but other than that, that's pretty much it. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about the internals of this gun. These come right out of the box. I didn't go ahead and install these come stock. So basically the inner barrel, 6.03 Type bore inner barrel. It also has an ECS, which I haven't even talked about yet. It has a programmable electronic control system. That's what ECS stands for, and I featured that in the unboxing video. But basically, you can go ahead and set this thing for 3-round burst, 5-round burst, burst. You can turn this into a DMR so you can completely take away full auto and just have safe semi. And yes, I will show you guys how to program this gun to go ahead and do whatever you want. With that, it obviously comes with a MOSFET installed inside the gun. Obviously, this gun is LiPo ready, so you can go ahead and use an 11-1. And then I showed you guys the rest, which is basically has low resistance silver wiring and that it's wired to Dean's right out of the box. So externally, this thing looks like a beast. It feels absolutely phenomenal. And internally, this thing's a beast. So now, before I go ahead and just start doing the chrono test and shooting and all that other stuff, why don't I go ahead and show you guys how to actually program this thing, and then we'll get into the actual shooting test. So if you take a look at the manual here, this is actually what you can program the gun to do. You have safe semi-full, safe semi 3-round burst, you have safe 3-round burst full auto, safe 5-round burst full auto, or safe semi, basically turning it into a DMR. And basically you have to listen for these beeps. So basically for this one, for instance, for 3-round burst and full auto, you have to hear 3 beeps, which means 3-round burst, and then 8 beeps for full auto. And then the same thing goes for the 5-round burst, but you should hear 5 beeps and then 8 beeps for 5-round burst full auto. This is all pretty self-explanatory though, so if you want to go ahead and pause this, if you have the Nemesis HEX and you're figuring this out for the first time, just go ahead and pause this, test it out. However, I'm going to demonstrate now how to actually do this, so you can do it with me if you want. All right, so I have the manual on the ground, bear with me, but we're going to program this thing for the first round. So basically we're going to try and program this thing for safe semi 3-round burst. So let's go ahead, flip it to semi-automatic, make sure there's no BBs in the magazine. I don't even think I covered the magazine, but it's just a 300-round high cap magazine. All right, trapdoor on the top, wind up wheel on the bottom. Getting back on track though, so what you gotta do is pull the trigger and hold it back, okay? So don't let go. Ready? Now listen. Wait for it. There it is. Beep. 8 beeps, which means this is default. So that's semi full auto, which is what it is. Click it once, the trigger, watch. Wait. Click it. 3 beeps. So that is semi 3-round burst. And then if you want to set that, go ahead and flip this to full auto. Ready? Now that is set, now watch. Semi should still work. Now it should be 3-round burst instead of full auto. Boom. And then you just go down the list for whichever one you want and just listen to the beeps and read the manual as you were doing it, and it's super simple. I picked it up immediately and you should too. However, for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and quickly program this thing for all of them, just so you guys can actually see the gun being shot in each, mode, I guess I could call it. Alright guys, so I have the Extra Tech here set up for 0.20 gram BBs. I have the magazine loaded up with 0.20s with the 11.1 LiPo battery hooked up, wired to Dean's. So one thing I didn't mention though when we were talking about the internals is that this actually has, and I was like talking about the features of the gun, this actually has a quick change spring feature. So you can actually go ahead, take the pre-existing spring that comes out of the box and depower, basically put a weaker spring in and make this shoot below 350 if you want to take this into a CQB field. But out of the box, you cannot do this. This thing is shooting well over 350, and we're about to find out what exactly it's shooting. I think it's supposed to be shooting like around 390 to 400. But anyways, 0.20s, 11.1. Here we go. Semi-automatic, shot number 1. 403.1, 404.6, 402, 403, 404, 403, 405, 405, 407, 408, and that's 10 shots. So basically right around 405 FPS is where I would say this thing is averaging with 0.20 gram BBs. Regardless though, let's go ahead, flip this thing to full auto, and let's go ahead, I think, oh, rounds per second's up there. All right, cool, 11.1. This is not fully charged, so it probably could be shooting even a little bit faster, but you guys get an idea. So here we go. 17.3 rounds per second. I will convert that to rounds per minute. All right, so we're gonna do a total of 3 bursts. Let's do 2 more. That is 18 rounds per second. and 18.1 rounds per second. So basically 17.5 to 18 rounds per second. Again, I'll convert that on the screen right now to rounds per minute. But yeah, so if this battery is fully charged, I'd probably say it can get anywhere from 18.5 to maybe 20. I don't know, I want to say more like 19-ish. So now that we know how hot the gun is shooting and how fast it's shooting, why don't I go ahead, step back to probably around 65 to 70 feet, and we'll be shooting at a target, a pretty small target, a hand-sized target, and we'll see how accurate this Nemesis HEX really is. Guys, take a look at this. Oh my god, all the soda literally sprayed forward. I got so lucky. Look at that though. Shot completely through the can. Obviously that's to be expected. Completely shredded this guy. The gun's shooting over 400 FPS. You know that's gonna happen. Sorry to all you Fanta lovers. I know, I'm a Fanta guy myself. Gotta do what you gotta do though. So here you have it, you guys. The classic Army Nemesis HEX. Between the snappy trigger response, I'm pretty sure I filmed a little clip of me showing you guys like how there's absolutely no reset. It feels almost like a little bit like the Scorpion Evo. But yeah, so between the trigger response, how you can program this thing, the ECS, into like 3 or 5 round burst or just like a DMR semi, the Type O inner barrel, the MOSFET, the low resistance silver wiring, the quick change spring feature, it's wired to Dean's, and just how it looks and how snappy everything feels when you're firing the gun. This thing is really up on my list in terms of a gun that I may have to purchase for my own collection. And I'm not just saying that because this was given to me to do videos on by Fox Airsoft. I've never said that in any one of my videos except this one. Regardless though, I do have 3 cons. One of them is iffy. The first one being the battery compartment space. It's terrible, but you just got to find a way to work around it. The second one is that the gun is front heavy. However, I don't personally mind that. I'm just making sure you guys remember that. And the last one that I haven't even mentioned yet is that the motor gets very, very hot very quickly. Anyways though, Fox Airsoft, again, thank you so much for sending this out to me to do videos on. And guys, I apologize about kind of lacking on uploads. I know my last video I said I'm going to be more consistent. Wasn't consistent, but I'm trying. Seriously, you guys, I am trying. I hope you can forgive me. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and smack that thumbs up button. If you're new, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Anyways though, again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed. But until next time, I will see you guys in the next one.